Alright guys, next thing I did here was I took one of the scrap pieces of 4x4 that I cut off the ends, and I'm just using it to make a straight edge for the bottom of all the uprights. That way, instead of measuring out each individual post and marking it and having something maybe go slightly off there, just based on the way I mark the lines, what I can do here is use a straight edge. Alright, and the next step here is going to be to mark the beam's center here, and we're just going to go ahead and put a line across here, across the other line, as far as what is center. It is, so being that these are 4x4s, they are actually 3.5 by 3.5, which would make it 1 3/4 inches to midpoint. So we want to make sure that we hit midpoint, otherwise things aren't going to line up, and you may weaken the structure as well if you're too far off center. We don't want to go any closer than 4.5 on these for the same reason. We don't want to weaken the structure too much. We just need some adjustability. So we will go ahead and mark 1 3/4 inches from the edge. That should give us our center point, and then that's going to give us our guide for where we're going to drill the holes. And there we go. So this one is done. I do have a knot here. I'm not sure how I want to approach that, so I may just leave that one missing for the time being. And then I will go ahead and let you guys catch up a little bit later. Alright guys, here we go. We have all of the safety pin holes. I put in a pilot hole at the center point of every 4.5 inches here. And I am using a speed bore 1 1/4 inch bit here. We're going to go ahead and drill these through here. One thing to be careful with these bits do pull quite hard. So if it does get going, you need to brace your arms and your wrist just to make sure that it doesn't pull through and whip the drill around, because it will if it's grabbing on good. Alright guys, the next thing I did here was I went ahead and cut the sides for each uprights, the brace in between them, kind of like the front and back together. We went ahead and we did 43 inches or 3 feet 7 inches, 43 inches. That should be big enough or deep enough there that we can go ahead and keep that going. We're going to go ahead and cut these off now. And then we are going to go ahead and start getting them ready to pin the two sides together initially. And then from there, it's just creating the side-to-side supports that link the left and right sides together. But first, let's go ahead and cut these and get the fronts connected to the backs. We can then at least form the pair of uprights and then start connecting them as we go here. Alright guys, go ahead and take what we did on the one upper support, doing the holes every 4.5 inches. After it's all measured out, go ahead and do the pilot holes, and then go ahead and take the 1 1/4 inch wood boring bit and go ahead and go through. Just a reminder that that speed bore bit or any other high speed boring bit, that if it catches just a little bit, it's going to crank the drill with it, and you're going to want to go with it. So I do highly suggest anchoring against something. A lot of times you saw me, I was anchoring against my calf as I was drilling through, and then make sure that you have a support on the bottom as well, so that you're not coming straight out of the wood into nothing. That's a good way to split the wood quite often, at least on the back side. So once you're done with all 4 of those, I'll go ahead and show you what we got. Alright guys, now we're going to go ahead and start joining the pieces. To do so, we're going to use these A23 Simpson strong ties. We are just going to be placing them like this, making sure everything lines up. And then we'll do some pilot holes, and then we'll use our impact driver and go ahead and drive those screws in.